Welcome to the Lights On podcast, featuring stories behind building and running successful hotel businesses. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm Kin Seo. I'm the host of the Lights On podcast, where I talk to hotel owners and operators who are building and growing a hospitality business. Each episode features stories from the owners and leaders running hotels and making real decisions every day. This episode is sponsored by Lights On. Lights On helps hotels grow revenue more consistently by managing pricing, distribution, and digital marketing all together. We help hotels identify the highest impact revenue opportunities so they don't leave money on the table. We also run the full revenue and marketing operation so hotel teams can stay focused on the guest experience. If you want to unlock more revenue at your hotel, visit lightson.co to learn more. Today, we have Chad here from Bryce 25, who has done thousands of interviews with successful entrepreneurs and CEOs. And we have flipped the script, and he will be interviewing me this time. Chad, welcome to the show.
Hey, Kin, thanks so much. It's great to talk to you. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to finding out more about you and more about Lights On. Hey, tell me, you had been kind of working your way through a tech career, and then you left to pursue business ownership. What inspired that?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to start my professional career in the tech industry. I was working some of the big tech where there were high concentration of talent, so many that to a point that when you see all these smart guys around you all doing their things that are not really driving real business impact, because when you're working in a big company, so about 100,000 people, everybody's so smart. Not everybody is really making real impact. So that kind of got me to a point where I really wanted to do something that means something and creates real impact to people around me. So that's kind of when I off the game to start searching for small businesses, because I ultimately Main Street business is what driving this country. So we want to make sure that finding a business that really adds value to other business owners as well. And I ended up connecting to the previous owners at Lyson. We figure out what Lyson does. We have a good niche. We are serving great people in the hospitality industry, which there are just so many things that can be done just from what I knew in the tech industry. I think people in these industries deserve better ways of doing things. There's so many hardworking people in the hospitality businesses. So just finding ways to help them be smarter, doing things more efficiently, so that they can enjoy the impact with less hassle. That's kind of really what drove me with making a acquisition of Lyson, running Lyson, and just to make sure that people are getting more stuff done, getting more profits, getting more revenue with less hassles.
Was there something about Lights On that was particularly attractive, maybe compared to other possible opportunities that you might have had?
Yeah, one is really the people. Lightsound is based in Hawaii, which is like when I first learned about this company, is learned about the owners, everybody will get the misconception of like, oh, people working in Hawaii, it will be like people coming with the surfboards and like, not treating like business for real, like, which is completely wrong. When I actually got to meet the previous owners and the team at Lyson, just knowing that how hardworking people are and actually how smart they are in terms of like helping all the hotel clients that we have to be successful in terms of growing their revenue, profits, getting more exposure, getting all the tourists and guests know about their properties, right? I think there's something really amazing and magical happening here within Lyson. That's kind of what really drew me to learning more about Lyson in the first place. And then the other key piece is really the fact that Lyson is very focused in one industry, which is hospitality, is very important. There are so many marketing agencies out there who can be, they're industry agnostic, right? They'll be serving plumbers, electricians, insurance company. Like there are just so many things that are nuanced within this one industry, hospitality, that it really deserved full focus on this industry and doing all these best practices, all the tips and tricks that only works for this industry. Having a generic company or marketing agency just would never have that level of insight.
Mm.
So having that at Lyson, from what I learned, what the team's working on, and just their expertise about this industry and hotel in particular, really like I see that true competency that I couldn't find in any other marketing agency that I was looking at.
So I know you work with hotels and you help manage pricing and distribution and digital marketing. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, and it might be a foreign concept to a lot of these smaller hotel operators as well. Like, I mean, in reality, it's like what all these big hotels, big brands has been operating, for decades, right? Usually big hotels coming in, they have a whole division of commercial strategy that has all this like revenue management, which is essentially a fancy work of managing all the room pricing, optimizing the pricing for the best profit, right? And then they have the sales organizations where people are constantly going out hunting for group business, wholesale business, and things like that. And then they have the marketing department that runs all the marketing functions that you would think of, right? So it has been built in a pretty defined way for these big corporates. Now, when you come to see the smaller properties, right? Sometimes it could be the mom and pop hotel operators who run a 30-room hotel, by the beach town, right? Some of these hotel owners are not even coming from the hospitality background, right? They could be becoming a hotel owner or the operator by accident, right? It could be a hotels that are inherited from their family, right? They come in, they were never trained of doing any of these. They have to find ways to make things work, and a lot of times they make it work great. Many times they miss many opportunities because they're not trained with this discipline. When all the big corporates and big brands, they already build these principles for decades, right? So I think it's a huge gap to almost like stealing these big principles from these big boys and trying to apply it to the smaller properties. Sometimes we just see amazing results. Like, some of the constant comments and feedback coming from our clients is like, wow, I don't know that you can actually do this or do that. I don't know how you can actually think about, selling hotel rooms, in such a way that, many hotels owners, sometimes they run that almost like it's like a USA rental business, right? Which in reality is like just very different. So we Lyson are really at this like unique place to take lots of these principles and learning, because we have team members who worked and spent decades in these big brands. Having them using those expertise and principles to help these smaller guys succeed is really like the passion of Lyson.
Do most of the clients that you work with know that they need you right away, or do they have to be sold?
It's a mix.
Mhm.
We work with hotels, big and small, right? We have bigger hotels that are kind of in the 300, 400 rooms versus, we have like the smaller ones. Some that they have maybe 10 or 20 rooms, right? So the bigger hotels, they could afford the budget to hire, more people in the hospitality industry, right? So these are generally hotels or clients, they already know what to expect. Like they already know some of those principles that we just talked about, right? The revenue management, the digital marketing, distribution, sales, and all that. So they have some expectations of, this is what Lyson offers. I know like what Lyson can bring to the table to optimize their revenue and profits. On the smaller side of the spectrum for our clients, like these are truly the independent or boutique hotel owners, right? They sometimes will see a subset of value from Lyson because they're used to working with digital marketing agencies. There will be a marketing team who comes in to run your Google ads, run your Facebook ads, and things like that. But these property owners, right, one thing they did not know about is there's a whole principles about where to distribute your room inventory. So how do you best optimize your price? So kind of that whole commercial strategy or revenue management aspect of the business is often they will miss that because they just didn't know such thing exist, right? And then really going to the extreme of like this, if the even smaller hotel owners, right? They just had no ideas that you could do marketing, revenue management, and things like that. So these are usually the clients or the prospects or the owners that needs to be sold and needs to be um, shown what could be possible
Mhm.
to really improve their business by a million miles.
So, as I mentioned, as we talked about, you had a background in tech. How has that kind of influenced your approach to running Lights On?
Yeah, it's an eye-opening experience that some of our team members, the company always joke about hospitality business being a dinosaur business. We retain, by we I mean the hospitality industry, right? We retain lots of the processes and practices from decades ago, right?
Mhm.
Things are still done in a relatively manual basis. We have lots of our, the revenue managers and all that, they still even running some of the calculations and data analysis through spreadsheets and all that, right? So kind of coming from a tech background, when, things are being done at the highest leverage using technology, like I definitely see opportunities, not just for the hotels that we serve, but also Lights On as a company internally. Like there's so many opportunities to really supercharge our productivities with the use of technology, right?
Mhm.
And we are really now at we are living like human civilization has come to a crazy spot where like all this AI innovation are just it's just happening so fast. I think it's just the best time right now to use some of the latest cutting edge technologies to help a industry that has been known for being behind to do that leapfrog, right?
Mhm.
So I'm super excited about those opportunities ahead of us, just both for Lifezone as a company, as well as all the hotels that we serve, to really show them that uh, there's ways to do things in a much easier way by getting so much more results. Uh,
Mhm.
I think people in this industry are trained to be very hardworking. Like if I'm sure everyone listening to the show or just anyone will have experience, traveling, visiting, going, staying at a hotel.
Mhm.
You think about looking at the housekeepers in the front desk, like these are the most hardworking human beings that you could ever imagine.
Sure.
uh, there are ways for these, good human beings to be better at their jobs and not having as much hassle. So I'm really like excited that Lysan really offers lots of these value and help to hotel owners or hardworking people in the industry to really enjoy that outcome of technology.
Okay, very nice. One of the things, as I mentioned, you help with for hotels is pricing. How do you help them optimize pricing strategy?
Yeah, it is the honestly the most challenging topic in the hospitality industry, right? If you think about demand and supply, right? Well, actually, let's pick Uber as an example, right? I'm
Mhm.
just kind of talking about misconception of what people would think how hotel pricing works. So most people nowadays they know they use Uber, they use Lyft, right? When you come up, oh, you want to take a hell ride, right? You insert your point A to point B, Uber calculates the whole pricing for the trip and all that. Everything is automated. Great. That kind of train consumers really well. They come to expect that, the pricing of the ride, hotels, airplane tickets and all that, they're all based on supply and demand, right?
Mhm.
In hotel, it's not everything is as automated as like what you would expect from like just taking Uber ride, right? There are solutions out there that will automate your pricing based on demand and supply. Great. But in the hotel industry, with all these different market factors, right? Sometimes I'm taking Hawaii as example since we're based in Hawaii, right?
Mhm.
So the fact that the global demand traveling to Hawaii, the competitions of that many hotels concentrated in a very small island, right? What your competition does in terms of their pricing, all of these could be factors impacting the optimal pricing for a hotel, right? So that really makes it challenging for any sort of automated pricing software to work well, right? Obviously in hospitality, there are auto pricing technology solutions out there, but many hotels, even like the biggest hotels are on the island, they are not having the full trust of this auto pricing truly, right? Because there's just so many factors that current technology hasn't got to a point that is smart enough to take all these factors and optimize your price.
Mhm.
And let's say we get to that point, right? The tool can optimize that price. But we know when you have like 10 hotels on the same street all doing the same thing,
Mhm.
you still need a driver in the seats to add that extra layer of human intelligence to define the pricing, right? So these are all the principles that has to be done in place on our day-to-day operations, right? We have a portfolio of hotels. We come in, we look at the pricing every day. We look at the competitors' pricing. We look at the market demand. We look at, like there's a long weekend coming soon where like everybody's going to be hiking on their price. Like, at what point do you want to hike the price for how long? Like, these are all the pricing conversation and decisions that we have to make on behalf of clients to maximize their revenue potential. So this is a very in-depth answer of how that dynamic pricing will look
Yeah.
like in the hotel industry, which I think people outside the industries, will never understand. This is actually that many more layers on top of like quote unquote dynamic pricing. So these are all the things that we run on behalf of our clients so that really what we want is that we took all of these analysis and demand forecasting and things like that out of their way. So hoteliers can really focus on what they do best, which is giving the guest the best experience that could be when the guests arrive to the property.
Sure. What about digital marketing? What's Lights On's approach to that?
Yeah, so that can go really hand in hand with the pricing aspect of just
Mm.
what we just mentioned, right? So on the digital marketing side, right? Let's just start with what every marketing agency will be doing, right? Marketing agency, we come in, right? We take over the client's responsibility for running, all the digital ads, right? Whether it's gonna be ads on Google, ads on Facebook, and all that, right? Sometimes in the hospitality space, right, you have a bit more niche solutions for advertising, right? If you think about going to Expedia or Booking.com, you can even run ads on those platforms, right? So there are a lot more advertising or channels that we have to think about in the hospitality space. Many times other agencies, they come in with that generic mindset that we just mentioned, right? They are not used to having a lot more channels that they have to manage, right? So obviously, because we are invested deep down into this industry, like, we do this on a daily basis, this is like pretty natural to us, right? So that's kind of like one level beyond just being a generic marketing agencies running digital marketing. Now, the second layer of expertise comes from the collaboration between the pricing aspect and the marketing aspect. All right. So by fine-tuning marketing opportunities based on how we price the hotel is critical. And many agencies can't do that because they don't understand the pricing aspect of hotels. A quick example would be that, a property could be running, let's say, $1,000 of Google ads for the month.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, it turns out we know that on the pricing side, weekends usually are priced higher, and there are naturally more demand because of people coming in stay over the weekend, but they're not there's not enough business on the weekdays, All right. So now how can we actually run some of the ads more selectively on periods that the hotel needs it the most? Right. How can we fine tuning our messaging and the ads, the campaign, so that we can actually focus more conversion from the ads to the needs period, right? Now, just super simple example, just weekday versus weekend, right? But now thinking about a seasonality, right? If you look at the whole year, not every month we are expecting the same volume of demand of guests coming into Hawaii, right? We have our seasonality that is very specific to Hawaii. Think about in Montana, it could be very different. Think about Florida, it could be a different seasonality again. So now building campaigns and digital marketing plan according to those macro seasonality pattern of the market, and then taking that next level down of, okay, now within those seasonality, knowing that how the hotel performs from past year versus this year, we kind of understand where, oh, we will be expecting a shortage of business, on these particular days or period, because that's all informed by the hotel's performance from the previous year. Then we can actually do the further fine tune of the campaign and the digital marketing plan. These are really the differences that we make with the collaborations of the pricing management side of things. These are the things that a marketing agency for plumber coming in, like they wouldn't expect to understand all these nuances, which it is the core competencies that the muscles that we have at Lyson that makes us different.
Sure. So, marketing, we've got marketing and revenue management. As you take on maybe new clients or even talk to potential clients, are there maybe some common misconceptions that already existing hotels have about these things like marketing and revenue management?
Definitely. So the most common scenario is hotels start coming to us thinking that we are a pure marketing agency. The first conversation that we were having is that, hey, we are either running the ads in-house or we had another agencies, running our marketing, right? I need you to take over doing this. Our usual approach is that no. That's kind of the after fact. Let's actually take a step back and actually think about the blueprints of how your property or your hotel really makes money, right? How demand actually flow from, at the very top, right? How do people discover the hotel, right? How do people making, their conscious pricing decision? How do they think your price, this particular hotel is priced too high or too low for their budget, right? So we kind of, looking from that perspective, to build the blueprint of like, okay, this is how your guests, first of all, discovering you, how do they making their pricing decision, and then how does the property itself making the right pricing decision to really capture those demand, so that, hey, like people always coming to Hawaii anyway, but why would these people choose your hotel over other hotels, right? They always factors of like, one is how you price competitively against your competitors, right? That's one. And two is how do you use marketing to showcase the unique experience that your property has that other properties don't, right? So we kind of take out that holistic approach. Let's have the blueprint. Let's understand the market positioning of your property, your pricing strategy, and even like where does this property distribute the inventory, right? Like, can people come in and can people book only through your website? Can the guest book through Expedia, Booking.com, Hotels.com, Airbnb? Like different hotels have different decisions they have to make on what makes sense. Maybe Hotel A should only be on Expedia and on having inventory on their web direct. Hotel B, it might make sense for them to actually like get on Airbnb as well, right? So these are the things that we look holistically before we even talk about running ads. So this is a misconception that, especially smaller hotel owners will miss, because they come in expecting that they are um, hiring a marketing agency, but in fact, we actually provide more than just marketing. We are really coming in and think about all the pricing, distribution, and marketing decisions that a hotel needs to make to maximize their revenue across the board.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, this is one of your first episodes for this podcast. What are you most looking forward to about being the host or one of the hosts?
Yeah, really the key is getting connected to lots of the hotel operators and owners and hospitality leader. Like I said, I got so fascinated with this industry because we have lots of talented people and hardworking people, and they're working on all aspects of this industry, right? If you look at the big top luxury hotels like like Renaissance, JW Marriott, they provide a very different experience from a small boutique 20 rooms hotels by the beach, right? Like they all doing the same thing, which is serving guests, hoping the guests can come here having a good time while during their stay or vacations, right? They're all trying to do the same thing, but they do it in very different ways. So I really want to create a platform like this Lights On podcast to showcase hospitality leaders from all walks of life, to showcase what they do, and hopefully having those stories, creating new wisdom for hoteliers in general, that there could be some things that you can borrow, a small hotels can borrow from a JW Marriott or vice versa, to create that the pollination of knowledge and stories. And just the fact that getting more connected all these hoteliers and operators, because these are all very interesting human beings, and just learning their stories and what's the why behind how they operate their properties. I think these are all fascinating stories that we should share more broadly to the industry.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great. Hey, Ken, it's been great to talk to you. Thanks so much for having me and sharing all of your insights. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much, Chad.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Lights On podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.